What's up, everyone? Lord Ryujin's here again, bringing you another YouTube video. Thanks for watching. Now, I'm a little bit upset. I had a long rant and that I decided to just completely redo because I went completely off my rocker in that, and I didn't want to have that on the internet and cause all kinds of rage and flame wars and stuff. But I just wanted to make a real quick, redacted, if you will, video that just kind of states that I'm tired. I'm tired of these side-by-side comparisons. I'll try to put the picture that I'm talking about up. But that's pretty much how I feel about it. The internet makes this big deal about if it's not on PC, running at 2,000 frames per second and like 5,000K, that it's not a game. Which is bogus. Because, to me, you have a game like Metroid Prime 3 Corruption on the Wii that looked just as good and actually plays better, actually, than Perfect Dark Zero for the 360. A system that is supposedly technologically underpowered in comparison to the 360, but yet has a better looking game that plays better. Because it comes down to the developer. To me, Nintendo makes better games. They put more quality, they put more love, and they take their time to make sure that, a lot of things are caught. Now, is it possible to get bugs that skip past? Yes, certainly. I mean, testing can't catch everything. But at the same time, when you have a lot of companies that literally, like Ubisoft, that just release games, or they just push stuff out for the holidays, just for the sake of releasing it. They don't take the time to properly test it. They don't take the time to, look, we need another 6 months to make sure that this game runs good. They just push it out there. And then we want to go and complain. That's what I'm complaining about. But complaining about the resolution, I mean, 900p, 1080p. It's like 180 some odd resolution difference. I'm not going to gripe that much. As long as the game plays good. If I pick up the controller and I press forward and the character runs, and I ask it to climb and the character climbs, we're good. I've seen side-by-side comparison videos of Assassin's Creed Unity supposedly running slowly. And supposedly going down to 19 frames per second, and I'm sorry, I still don't see it. I've already said before that I've seen side-by-side comparisons of 30 frames per second versus 60 frames per second, and I thought that maybe I was crazy. I thought, you know what, maybe it's just me, my old eyes, maybe. But I went and I showed my wife, and she didn't see it. And she has better vision than I do. And she did not see a difference between 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second. So, to me, this whole mentality of if it's not 1080p, 60 frames per second, it's a horrible game. That sounds like PC elitism to me. That sounds like you're being a PC gamer that's used to being able to, go in and find emulators and all this other stuff and patches and stuff to make a game run at 4K, 2,000 frames per second. Because you're that much of a whiny baby that you can't deal with a game running 5 frames slower. You're that much of a whiny person. I mean, I'm just grateful that I'm playing the game. Do you think that I give a shit if I play Watch Dogs on the Wii U? I don't. That's probably what I'm going to pick it up for. Because honestly, I'm so sick and tired of DLC that I'd rather play a game that's complete than having to worry about, oh, I got to pop out another $10 for this. I've already bought the game. Now, will I more likely pick it up for something like maybe the Xbox One? Certainly, because if I can pick it up for $20 versus $60, certainly. I mean, it's what I did with Dishonored. I think I picked up Dishonored at a used bit for like $10. And I'm upset that it has 3 packets of DLC already, but if I end up spending less than what I would have if I bought it brand new, I might be willing to deal with the DLC. But do I instantly think that just because it came out for the Wii U, there's a gift version? No. I don't. Because I'm just going to do this weird and crazy thing where I'm going to pull out the controller and I'm going to play it. And I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to be looking deliberately at every single frame whenever I turn to see, oh, there's a glitch, oh, there's a bug, this game's crap, throw the controller down, and then go on the internet and learn about it for 20 minutes. I'm going to do this weird thing that I used to do as a kid growing up, and other people in my generation did growing up. We're going to enjoy the game. We're not going to focus on how fast it's running. We're not going to focus on, oh look, right there, that 1 second, it went down from 30 to 29. This game is shit. I'm not going to focus on, oh look, it technically went from 1080 here to 1080i here. Oh, this game's crap because it went from 1080 to 1080p to 1080i. Because that's how ridiculous it sounds to me. Because, again, the picture that I have up pretty much explains how it is to me. The internet makes this big deal of unless it's on a PC and uber realistic, it's not a game. But the top part of the meme is what I see, where they show the side-by-side comparisons of this is how it looks on the Xbox One, this is how it looks on the Xbox 360, this is how it looks on the PlayStation 4, this is how it looks on the PC. That's what I see. I see no difference. Maybe there's one extra bead of sweat. Maybe there's a few extra arm hairs. Which isn't going to matter because as I'm running through the game and as I'm, again, enjoying the game, not trying to actually look for any glitches, not actually trying to find any faults of the game, but just actually, enjoying it. Rather than complaining about it. Being grateful that I have a brand new experience in front of me to play. And when I'm walking down assassinating people in Assassin's Creed Unity, I'm not going to be focusing on, oh look, right there it's 19 frames per second. Look at how realistic this grass looks, though. I'm not going to be focusing on that. I'm going to be focusing on how can I do this stealthily so I don't get caught. I'm going to be focusing more on the game. And I don't know at what point this happened. I don't know at what point we became like this. I'm actually kind of ashamed to be a gamer, if I can state that. Because I don't know, as a gamer, I used to be proud of it. I used to stand up and go, yes, I'm a gamer. And yes, I love Nintendo. Because Nintendo gives good quality games. And I love Sony, because Sony gives us great games and the controller. But now we've become so focused on it. If it's not an Xbox, it's not a real game. And so we're gonna rage because anybody that doesn't have the best version on the PC or on Xbox console, we're gonna yell at them. And we're gonna call everybody a Nintendo fag because they get Bayonetta 2, and we don't. Why all this hate? I don't understand. I mean, when I was growing up, I did this crazy thing that you're probably going to shit yourself when I tell you. But there was this company called Sega, and they had a Genesis. And then there was this company called Nintendo, and they had a Super Nintendo. And there was friends of mine that had a Genesis, and I had a Super Nintendo. And they were talking about how great this game was on the Genesis. I'm like, great, let me come over and play it. I know, it's crazy, right? I actually enjoyed a competitor's system. Because it wasn't about loyalty. It wasn't about the brand. If Nintendo gives me a crap game, I'm going to state that it's a crap game. But I very rarely come across that because it has to be a game like Virtua Racer, or PO, or Dragon Master Spellcaster. It has to be a game that controls and looks horrible for me to say anything like that. Because otherwise it seems to me that we're just making a big deal over nothing. That's just like saying, look, this apple is shinier than this apple, so this apple is better. Even though if I bite into this apple, it's going to taste the exact same as this apple. But this apple is better because it's shinier. That's how I feel in a nutshell about these semantics that people do when it comes to gaming. People, look, you can give me hell for liking Nintendo, but you have to understand that Nintendo always brings me back into gaming. As a gamer, I got into gaming with the NES. If it wasn't for the NES, I never would have become a gamer. And I've always said it before about how I got sick and tired of the gaming industry. The Wii U brought me back. It restored my faith in gaming, because at that point I'm just like, everything's the same. Everything's a generic, gray shooter that focuses more on action and less on story and content. But the Wii U brought me back. Every time I think that, we're just going to start focusing on control of this and that, and everything's going to be the same, the Wii comes out. You know, every time Nintendo brings me back. They keep me grounded. And then I go over to companies like the Xbox One. I go in and I play that. I play the PlayStation 4. And I enjoy their games for what they are. So I'm not dissing you for liking PC. I understand that you would like to have all your games in one box. I get that. I really do. And if you like Microsoft, great. If you like Sony, great. I'm not dissing you. I'm just saying that we shouldn't be dissing each other, because hating somebody for what they prefer is hate. And in some ways, it's actually discrimination. And as gamers, it seems to me that we shouldn't be discriminating each other. We should be embracing each other. I mean, do you think that I'm going to get uber pissed off because my brother-in-law is playing Dark Souls on the PC, and I'm playing it on the PS3? Do you think it really makes that big of a deal to me? I'm like, no, man. Hey, did you get to this one boss? What did you think of it? We're going to talk about the game, because we're going to enjoy the game. We're experiencing the same thing. We're enjoying the same thing, regardless of whether he's playing Skyrim on the 360 and I'm playing Skyrim on the PS3. Regardless of whether he's playing the original Bayonetta on the PS3 and I'm playing it on the Wii U. We're experiencing the same game, and we're experiencing the same bosses, same enemies, same moves, and we're talking about it. That's what it should be about. That's what it was about when I was growing up. It was about brotherhood. It was about, hey, I'm playing this crazy game on the Genesis, and I'm like, I know, playing it on the Super Nintendo. How did you get past this boss? And that's what we talked about. It wasn't about how, you're a Sega geek, man. I want to talk to you. That's not what it was about. You had a Super Nintendo? I had a Genesis. You had a Saturn? I had a PlayStation. But all the same games came out, so it didn't matter. You have a Nintendo 64 that has this game. I have it on Saturn, or what else it might have come out for. And we just experienced the game together. That's what it should be about. Not about resolution. Not about frame rate. Not about, especially minute frame rate, mind you. Because even if, for whatever odd reason, I may happen to ever notice a difference between 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second, it seems like it's so minute that we shouldn't care. Now, let's bitch about 5 frame rates per second. If the game is literally, and you try to assassinate somebody and they see you and you freeze in midair, complain about that. There is a bug, there is a glitch, we need to get that stuff fixed. But to complain over it's not 1080p, it's not 4K, that seems like elitism to me. It seems like elitism. Because honestly, do you think that I look on the back of a PlayStation 3 game and I see, it's 720, let's put it away? No, I don't do that. I don't go through my PS3 collection only looking for games that run in 1080. I don't. I don't go buy Wii U games simply because they only run in 1080. If it's a good game, I want to play it. And if it's a great experience, I'm going to love it, regardless of whether it's 900p, 720p, 420. Just saying. And if it's a good game, regardless of whether it runs at 40 frames per second or 60 frames per second, I'm going to enjoy it. And that should ultimately be what it's about. But of course, that's just my 2 cents. I feel like I've ranted on long enough about this, and I think that pretty much made my point clear. If you're the kind of person that you care about resolution, and you care about frame rate, that's fine. You're entitled to that. But just from my perspective, and I've tried to show other people this too, that I'm just like, am I crazy? Or am I missing something with this 30 frames, 60 frames crap? And I try to show other people, and they're like, no, I don't see any difference. And then I try to, actually do like, oh, here's something in 720 and something in 1080. I don't notice the difference, really. It's just me with my glasses crooked. I can't tell. I'm just going to take them off. Screw it. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Oh, I look horrible without my glasses. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents, guys. Share your opinions on it. Do you really think it's that big of a deal? I mean, there's something that I went into earlier, I think last year, before the consoles even came out. I stated about how developers who are working on dev kits and stuff, they were basically saying, don't expect much of a technological leap. And lo and behold, here we are a year later. The PlayStation 4 doesn't look that much different from a PS3. And an Xbox One doesn't look that much different from an Xbox 360. The only system that looks really different from its predecessor is the Wii U. And everybody's shitting on that. Whatever. And the only system that stayed the same is the PC, even though the PC isn't a game system, it's a computer. And computers should be used for Facebook and emails, not games. But that's just me, and my 2 cents. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what you prefer. You like having everything on one box with the PC? That's fine. I believe that the PC should be used for personal stuff, not gaming. A gaming console should be used on, gaming consoles. Because I don't really use the internet on my systems. I don't go use Internet Explorer on my 360 because that's not what I'm using my 360 for. I'm using it to play games. That's just me. But at the end of the day, I do get you like having it all in one experience. I mean, I like being able to, watch Netflix and Hulu and play games and all that stuff on my Wii U. It's nice to have it all in one spot, so I get it. But at the end of the day, is it really that big of a deal? That's basically what I'm calling out to. Is it really that big of a deal if it's 900p or 1080? Is it really that big of a deal? As long as the game plays good, has a good story to it, controls great, and doesn't glitch out and bug and freeze you in the midair and then erase your whole save file and cause your system to explode, I think it's a good game. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm willing to be more forgiving. Maybe I'm just willing to be more forgiving and I'm not as harsh because I realize that, a developer is working on 3 or 4 games at a time. That's just me. And my 2 cents. Make sure you share yours. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a good one.